For this video, my goal is to reach out to the audience and explain the struggles that the Chinese immigrants had to go through in terms of finding their identity in Canada. Chinese immigrants had to go through things such as racism and ignorance, and it made the Chinese socially misplaced in Canada. In the story, the Chinese did not know whether to be their own culture and identity or whether to be like the Canadians. This can be seen within the family about the conflict between Popo, who strongly believed in keeping their Chinese identity, and Liang, who wanted to pursue something that the Chinese didn't approve of in acting and becoming a movie star. The racism that the Chinese had to go through could be seen when Wang was called a stinky chink by Canadians at the train station. The purpose of the photos I chose was to bring a sort of feeling where the Chinese were unfortunate and put down. I wanted to bring sadness to the audience to let them experience part of what it feels like to be a Chinese immigrant. The song I chose was Lovely by Billie Eilish and Khaled. I chose this song because it sounds like a song that is played in a movie trailer about war. I think the song fits perfectly for my remix because that feeling about war can be used to represent the war of conflicts between the Chinese immigrants and the Canadians. It can also represent a war for the Chinese immigrants in themselves, as they are constantly broken and destroyed when choosing which identity to side with. The first video I chose was about two Asians arguing. I used this video to represent the conflicts within families about the struggles in finding the true identity as Chinese immigrants in Canada. The arguments represent debates, hard relationships, and the discussions of letting down their own Chinese culture in order to pursue and do something else that contradicts the culture. The second video was a scene from a movie about the Chinese and Korean War. I used this clip at the very end after the quote, "Or will they keep it?" referring to keeping their own identity. The scene shows a man empty and broken after a battle. I think this relates to the Chinese immigrants' battles they go through when trying to find their true identity as Chinese immigrants, and the results of choosing which identity to go with. Whatever identity they choose, there's always damaged and broken things. For example, let's say if a Chinese family chose to keep their own identity, they would have broken their path into social acceptance in Canada and would continuously be misplaced and judged. If they chose the Canadian identity, the family would have broken their roots to their ancestors and cultures. They would sacrifice all that in order to follow the Canadian culture and to be accepted into society. Overall, I feel that the video I created gave the audience a taste of what it was like to be a Chinese immigrant in Canada back in the 1930s and 40s, and the struggles and conflicts that came with it.